Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to start doing these maybe once a week, once a couple weeks, depending on how much stuff I pick up. But I just want to go through the things that I've collected during this 2-week period and show you. So generally I'm trying to find old retro games, NES, Super Nintendo, pretty much anything that I can find, systems. And I still will buy Zelda memorabilia, collectibles, whenever I can find them. So here's some of the stuff that I found in the last 2 weeks. Hope you enjoy it. Here's one of the bigger items that I picked up this week. It's a Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Sheikah Slate laptop carrying case. It's really quite nice. I always really liked the design of the Sheikah Slate, the colors, just the shape of the Lens of Truth. So when I saw this, it was a good price, so I decided to pick it up and just add it to the collection. Next up, I found this at a local comic store in the city here, and this is an ultra detail figure, Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD. It's Link in a pose, kind of reminiscent of what he is in his amiibo pose, but good quality. I have a couple of these figures from the Super Mario universe. I haven't seen the Zelda one, so I decided to pick it up. Okay, now we're going to move on to the games, guys. This is where I picked up most of my stuff this week. Quite a bit, actually. The first one, this is for the Game Boy Advance. This is WarioWare. I love the WarioWare series, and I didn't have this for the Game Boy Advance. Plays very similar to the other ones. It's a good little find. Next up, this is Super Bonk for the Super Nintendo. This was a good find. This game continues to go up in price, getting harder to find. The game itself is not bad, just your traditional Bonk game that was on the TurboGrafx 16. Continuing on, this is Run Saber for the Super Nintendo, a fairly pricey game nowadays. If you've never played it, it's very similar to Strider on the Sega Genesis. Good game, it's pretty fun actually. Moving on, we're going to go to the NES now. This is the vast majority of my collection. I've got a little over 400 games right now, but obviously I'm still missing a bunch, so anytime I see some that I can pick up that aren't ridiculously expensive, I will grab them. So first off, we're going to start, this is Winter Games. Not the greatest game, but I needed it, so I put it in. This next game is The Fantastic Adventures of Dizzy. I played it for a couple seconds. It's your traditional platformer, not the greatest. I've never really seen these games before, the Dizzy games. I have one, but I've never played it. At least it's in a nice gold cart. Next up is Spider-Man Return of the Sinister Six. If you've ever watched the Angry Video Game Nerd episode of this, it's a terrible game, but of course it's made by LJN, so what do you expect? This is Gumshoe for the NES, one of the few games that used the zapper back in the day. I haven't had a chance to try it out yet because I don't have a CRT monitor, but I will eventually when I get one, and I'll give this game a shot. Next is Bump and Jump. This is a fun game. Play as a car, try and run people off the road. You have to jump over obstacles. Pretty simple game, but it is fun to play. Next is The Jungle Book, obviously based off the Disney movie. Side-scrolling platformer. It's not a bad game, not a great game. Here we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, The Manhattan Project. Another great Turtles game from Konami, back in the day when Konami actually made great games. All these Turtle games were really well done. The first one was a little bit different, but the third and the arcade game are really, really good. Here we have California Games. I remember playing this on the Commodore 64. It was probably better on there than it was on the NES, but I got it just because I didn't have it. Next up is Gunsmoke, Capcom game. So Capcom games were synonymous for being really good on the NES, and this one is. It's not as good as some of the other ones, but it's still a fun game to play. This is Adventure Island 2. I have the first one. I didn't have this one. Kind of Mario-esque game, platforming, side-scrolling, running and jumping. It's a fun game though. Next is The Untouchables. I haven't had a chance to play this game yet. I'm not even really sure what it's about. I know it's based off the movie, but as far as gameplay, I couldn't tell you the first thing about it. I definitely didn't have it, so that's why I added it in. Here we have Skate or Die 2, obviously the sequel to Skate or Die. These aren't the greatest games, but I mean, I guess if you like skateboarding, they might be up your alley. Here's the heavy hitter of the group, Sesame Street ABC. I have another Sesame Street game, but I didn't have this. Maybe one day I'll get around to playing it when I'm really, really bored. This is the Adventures of Dino Riki. Good game. A lot of Hudson Soft games back then were really well done on the NES, and this one is good as well. This is Pirates, made by Ultra, otherwise known as Konami. This game is very different, seems very in-depth. I played a little bit of it, but it wasn't what I was expecting. Maybe one day when I have more time, I'll give it more of a shot. And then here's my last game for today, and this was kind of my big pick for the week, and this is Mighty Final Fight. This game regularly goes for over $200 now. I didn't get it for a steal, but I did get it for a good price, and that's why I ended up getting it. I generally don't buy games that are super expensive at full price, but because this was a good deal, I decided to pick it up because I know that it's probably going to keep going up in price. And guys, those are my pickups for the week. I have some new stuff coming in for the following week, so next week or at the end of the following week I will do another video showing what I've picked up. But if you like this video, please hit the like button, leave any comments below, and I hope to see you on the next video. Thanks.